Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
I just think you got to keep the predators away.
A law designed to prevent predators from luring children into sexual encounters is being called unconstitutional.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. A law in Minnesota that makes sexting a child a felony might be going too far.
Under Minnesota state law, someone over the age of 18 who uses the phone or the internet to solicit sex is guilty of a felony. You can get in trouble for talking about or describing sexual conduct with a minor.
That violates free speech, according to the Minnesota Court of Appeals, and will be thrown out if approved by the Supreme Court. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson shows us what this could mean for parents.
Right now in Minnesota, an adult could face felony charges for sending a text or Snapchat with a dirty scene from a movie or explicit music lyrics. Multiple states, including Minnesota, think they may have gone too far with the laws, saying it's going against freedom of speech. Some saying it criminalizes conduct before it's criminal.
I did have a friend whose young daughter was talking to somebody online, an older gentleman, and that got a little scary.
For his son, Jason Moore says the stronger the punishment, the better.
Adults don't need to be talking to kids online if they don't know them, if they're not familiar with them, and the way I look at it is they're just fishing for trouble.
If the current laws are ruled unconstitutional, it's not something parents need to freak out about, according to a local attorney who says Minnesota law enforcement and prosecutors will still be able to punish criminals, adding that it's not a free pass for people trying to engage in sexual encounters with children.
I'm okay with the real hard penalties. It's a scary world out there, and I just keep the predators away.
Sometimes it needs to be more than felonies. I have places in my mind that people need to be.
Parents we talk to say education is key, starting in the home with rules and boundaries.
Online is a scary place to be. And I think people are very, very vulnerable that way.
Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
There are many new laws relating to sexting and revenge porn being talked about by lawmakers in Minnesota this session. If you want to read the laws about sexting with minors in both Minnesota and North Dakota, we have a link on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story.
Crews responded to a garage fire at Southgate Apartments in Fargo tonight. The call coming in just before 7 o'clock about a single garage stall fire. When crews arrived, they found a grass fire behind the row of garage stalls. There was no car in the one particular stall at the time. However, fire officials say there is wood damage to that single stall.
That did burn into one garage unit, made a fire attack on it and put that out.
No other garages were affected by the fire. The cause is still under investigation.
Location. That's one of the main factors people consider when buying a home. People living in the wilds, a West Fargo community, are upset after finding out a large apartment complex could be built behind their homes. It's something many of them never imagined.
Part of the reason we chose where we live was the tranquility and just the being separated from a lot of the other community, I guess, if you can think of it that way.
The city of West Fargo will make the final decision on whether to give the developer the green light to build that apartment complex. There's no word yet on when that will happen.
In Fargo, the Park District took a step closer to making you safer in their parks. The board voting last night to hire a safety coordinator, which is the first of its kind for the state of North Dakota. This person will, as the title indicates, coordinate safety at the more than 100 facilities under the Fargo Park District. Fargo police regularly patrol the Fargo parks because there are issues. Most park patrons that we talked to today told us that they do regularly see the police and don't feel threatened. The Park District is hoping to have the one-person position filled by next spring.
There were 8 more arrests today as the protests surrounding the Dakota Access Pipeline continue. 3 people locked themselves to construction equipment near New Salem, North Dakota. They and others were charged with criminal trespassing. North Dakota U.S. Senators Heidi Heitkamp and John Hoeven say they have safety concerns for protesters and the pipeline workers. With no end in sight, they're urging the Army Corps of Engineers to find a solution.
Hillary Clinton released results of medical tests and exams that show her getting better, and generally healthy. Clinton's campaign says she's in good health and she's recovering from pneumonia. The remainder of her physical exam says normal, and her doctor says she's in excellent mental condition. Meanwhile, a new poll by Politico and Morning Consult shows that 44% believe that Clinton's health would negatively affect her presidency, and roughly 30% of the people believe she could die during her first term. Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Kaine was in Minnesota yesterday. He was born in St. Paul. The Virginia senator made an unscheduled stop at the University of Minnesota, where he greeted students for almost an hour and took pictures and talked politics with the students.
The days of tax-free shopping online could be numbered. South Dakota Governor Dennis Daugaard signed a new law requiring many out-of-state online retailers to collect state sales tax from customers. But the new law mandates internet businesses collect sales tax if they sell at least $100,000 worth of product in South Dakota. Some say the law hurts small businesses, not big box retailers, and has prompted several lawsuits that could end up in the U.S. Supreme Court. The South Dakota Attorney General says without this law, the state is missing out on $48 to $58 million annually in tax revenue.
The public is getting a chance to learn about emergency response and life-saving measures. FM Ambulance is holding its Citizens Academy class. Now, that's a hands-on learning experience covering CPR, how to stop bleeding, and bandaging a wound. Participants will also get to ride with paramedics on emergencies and learn about the importance of naloxone.
It's big for us to get that message out, and there's some misnomers out there and people don't always know exactly what it does. So yeah, we do get that message out to them.
I've always been interested in ambulance. I used to work in the emergency room and used to see what they would bring and do all that. So I'm just really interested in the course.
Now, if you're interested, head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.